know, gentlemen, there is hell. And there is another place below hell. I'll remember everything.
I'm going to try to not make too much of a dog's breakfast about the May 31st launch on Netflix of the 6-episode third season of Peaky Blinders, except to say that the Cillian Murphy and Helen McCrory-led series created by Steve Knight is full of the swagger we've come to expect from the actors Thomas Shelby and his crazed 1919 Birmingham family and their swelling empire. Criminal, or, well, let's just say less criminal.
No fighting. No fighting.
Murphy's Tommy may say no cocaine, no sport, no telling fortunes, no racing, no fucking sucking petrol out of their fucking cars, and the main thing is no fighting in the opening episode of season 3, but God forbid you don't know that that's a guarantee that all those things will thankfully occur. Picking up in 1924, about 18 months after the events of season 2 ended, the latest serving of Peaky Blinders is also full of death, white Russians, and I don't mean the drink, history buffs, aristocratic swells, Soviet agents, sinister priests, say hello to the never more menacing Paddy Constite, cursed jewels, horse races, Winston Churchill, political upheaval, London villains, Tom Hardy, Alexander Siddig, some David Bowie, as well as more great soundtrack tunes from the likes of Nick Cave and PJ Harving, shotgun blasts, and a very good argument against the straight and narrow. In short, to quote McCrory's Polly Shelby, look how far we've come. Because it sure is great to see Peaky Blinders back. With vestiges of the guts and glory that made up the meat on the bone of The Sopranos and The Wire, really the high churches of contemporary TV, Peaky Blinders' third season, which debuted on the BBC in the UK earlier this month, peels apart how dangerous success can be, and how much others, even those closest to you or your own flesh and blood, will try to rip it out of your hands. There are plenty of linen tablecloths in the now wealthy Shelby world, but you'll never confuse us for the polite and repressed snobbery of the fictional timeline contemporary Downton Abbey. This is visceral viewing that uses respectability as a blunt object at the best and worst of times.
The aristocracy don't believe in forgiveness.
Neither do the Shelbys.
To that end, as good as Murphy and McCrory are as usual, and as Knight's writing and the directing here, the standout among the Shelbys this season has to be Paul Anderson's now married and trying to stay off all the hard stuff, Arthur. Rough as his role of the reckless older brother can be in many ways, Anderson is suave in his ability to hold together almost all the paralyzing aspects of Arthur and let them drip or flood out like blood from a wound, which, if you know anything about the show and Arthur, he inflicts many times this season as he has in the past. When Peaky Blinders' first 2 seasons debuted on Netflix back in late 2014, I, as someone says of Murphy's Tommy this season, loved the sport of it, the tension and the rage. With the too short season 3, which is the same 6 episodes as season 1 and 2, that sport has become an art, and at times, it is TV poetry in motion. I'm Dominic Patton for Deadline Hollywood.